All right, greetings everybody. Well, here we go. Here's one of those deals where U.S. Supreme Court says you have the right to travel. Yes, but do you have the right to travel in a motor vehicle this way? That's what we need to listen for in here, and I don't think you're going to hear it. Let's listen for it.
Citation from Thompson versus Smith,
Huh?
and they say the right of a citizen to travel upon the public highways and to transport his or her property thereon by horse-drawn carriage, wagon, or automobile is not a mere privilege which may be permitted or prohibited at will, but a common right which he has under his right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Under this constitutional guarantee, one may therefore, under normal conditions, non-commercial use, travel at his inclination along the public highways or in public places, and while conducting himself in an orderly and decent manner, neither interfering with nor disturbing another's rights, he will be protected not only in his person, but in his safe conduct.
All right, now I think that's actually pretty dead on. Until you have an accident. Until you have to get off the freeway or you have to get off the roadway to go buy something. And then at that point, you're doing commerce. And, years ago, vehicles used to actually have, and by the way, this isn't meant to hurt his feelings or anybody else's feelings. It was certainly put out here for public scrutiny and for public debate. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just speaking about this. So this isn't meant to hurt his feelings or anybody else's feelings. This is meant to clarify. So you'll notice that it did say automobile, and I see that it says automobile. But know that an automobile and a motor vehicle, those are two different classifications, okay? And if your vehicle has ever been titled as a motor vehicle, its designation is and will always be a motor vehicle. So this is something I'm going to cover in my travel and driving class. These guys pretty much lock this whole thing up, okay? And of course, they're not going to stand up. They're not going to tell you, hey, we locked this whole thing up and this is how we did it. It's our job to learn how they did it, and it's our job to learn to function within the system, uninhibited and private. If you guys want to learn how to do this right, instead of this other, which is just complaining, and like I said, to me it's complaining. It's just saying, hey, we don't like this, and I'm going to tell you that's not going to change. But here's what we can do. We can get smarter, we can get better, and we can change. Yeah, that's something we can do, and that's something we can do, and they certainly can't do. I've done this process. I traveled the country for 2.5 years without any state plates. I'd love to tell you my story, how I did it, and more importantly, I had no stops. I had no tickets. I had nothing. And I'm going to tell you, I wasn't driving or I wasn't traveling around in a little car. I was going state to state, and I was in a 30-foot RV in a minivan, traveling together down the road. And believe me, we stuck out like a sore thumb everywhere we went. So, how are we operating privately if we were sticking out like a sore thumb? This is something else we're going to talk about in my travel and driving class workshop that's coming up. Now, the other part of this is the do not detain list. How does that work? Is there a do not detain list? That's something we're going to be talking about in my class. The second day is going to be an amazing day. We're going to be talking about nothing but legal. And of course, we're not giving legal advice because we don't do that. But I am going to show you how each and every time I've been able to do the same thing over and over and over and win. And I say win, case after case after case. And I'm going to go through those cases. One of those cases is just as recent as, just last month. I had a ticket dismissed in Converse, Texas. Didn't have to show up in the court. I'm going to show you how to perfect a special appearance, how to do it right, and more importantly, proof that we've done it right. And I think that's what you're missing in this right to travel movement. You're missing the real proof. You're missing anybody that's been doing it for, 25 years and not had any problems. See, that's what we're missing. We're missing that element. And that says that somebody is going the wrong direction. So if we learn to go the right direction, nobody pays attention. And nobody cares. That's where we need to be at, you guys. And that's truly operating in the private. I'm going to leave my information up here at the top. If you guys want to sign up for this class, it's a wonderful class. And but schedule an interview with me first. I'd love to meet with you, see where you are in your process, and see where I can best benefit you regarding this class. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Be well.